Hey up, it's that old Yorkshire geek here again. And it's Orville Day. This is Season 3, Episode 5 of the Orville New Horizons, A Tale of Two Topas. I think it's Topas, isn't it? Yeah. Topa is obviously the offspring of Bortas and Clyden, the Mauchline members of the crew of the Orville. If you remember in Season 1... remember the Mauchline all it's an entirely male society, but sometimes some Mauchlins are born female, but they're usually altered surgically, to make them male, because it's not male, it's a male society. But sometimes, there are one or two Mauchline females knocking about, but they are pariahs. And but Topa was born female. Bortas wanted her to remain female, but Clyden wanted her to have the surgery to become male. And eventually that's what happened, and it kind of put a rift. It harmed the relationship, but they're still married. So let's get on with it. Right, where have I put it? Have I put it in yet? There we go. Right, so off we go. So let's just make sure I'm pressing play. There we go. Right, we're on an alien planet, and there's some big alien creature flying, and we see that there's some ruins. There we go. And there's a shuttle there, and there's crew, and apparently it's an archaeological expedition. They found this ancient pyramid. From this ancient civilization that died out, 20,000 years ago or something. So basically that's what's happening there. By the way, this is another good episode. I like this episode. A very powerful episode, as we'll see, about gender identity. It's not woke, thankfully, but it does address such matters as gender identity. We find out that she says to Ed, all she sees him walking about this data pad all the time, and apparently he's writing letters to Anaya. Remember, he's got a daughter on the Krill homeworld who's half Krill. So he's writing letters to her, even though he can't send them to her. He's still writing the letters. Hoping that one day she'll be able to read them. Right, so they go inside and they find that there's a sealed chamber. It is one of the science people. And it's booby-trapped, so there we go. Isaac tells them all to stand back, and he activates the door, and it sets off the booby-traps, Indiana Jones style. There we go. Ding, 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 ding. And all these darts bounce off him. And it's all, highly amusing, I suppose. And one goes in his ear in a minute. Yes, he's got these little holes inside of his head. And we're going to see it. There we go. One sticks in his ear. But it does no damage. So they get inside, and it's a treasure trove of... there we go. It's like that scene in The Mummy, isn't it? Or it's like National Treasure or something like that. It's a treasure trove. So they get all this stuff, and they're cataloguing it all. Apparently, a science vessel is on its way. It'll be there in a few days. I think a week. They said it'll be there. So they've got a few days to kill. So they're doing all this cataloguing, and then we cut to a battle that's raging between a Mauchline ship and there we go, and the Kalon, and we see it's Topa who's in command. Obviously, this is on the simulator, the holodeck. There we go, and the Kalon destroy the vessel, so. The simulation ends as vessel destroyed. Topa gets angry and smashes smashes the control panel and cuts his, because he's a him at the moment, cuts his hand. But then there's a knock on the door, or not a knock on the door, a chirrup of the doorbell, and it's Commander Grayson. Apparently, it's time for her, time on the simulator, and so we find out that Topa is interested in going to basically, Starfleet Academy, the Union Point they call it, Union Point, their version of Starfleet Academy, and so Commander Grayson says, well, he can follow her around while she does her duties to learn about, what being in command is all about. So they agree to that. So that happens. Then we cut to credits, I think. Yep, we do. Dee. That's got the same theme, hasn't it, as Star Trek Discovery. Dee. That's my theme for everything. Right, so Topa's shadowing Commander Grayson as she goes about her duties, and she's very friendly with everybody. Oh my, we find this alien here. He's naked, and it's making his crewmates uncomfortable. Apparently he's not normally naked, but apparently it was one day a month or something. He's got to not wear any clothes for his religious beliefs. And so they come to a compromise, and he agrees to wear some pants. So there we go. But as we see that Commander Grayson's friendly with everybody, she's a good commander, and she gets on with everybody, and she sorts things out. And we see that obviously we've seen that Topa's not happy. We saw that when was smashing was smashing the console, and you can see that we know that he were born female, but you can see by looking at him, quotes, it's obviously played by a girl. The episode basically it goes on, and Topa basically wants to be a female. He's having a battle's raging within. It knows that he's different, but he doesn't know why, because obviously they haven't told him he was born female. And it's upsetting him, it's affecting him, he's not sleeping and stuff like that. So Commander Grayson goes to see Bortas and Clyden, and she asks about, have they ever thought about telling Topa about, how he was born female? And Clyden gets all up at it. Clyden's a bit of a dickhead in this episode, I must admit. He's very stuck in his ways. Bortas is the more amenable one, and he does the amazing scene later on. Peter Macon as Bortas had me getting a bit lip quivery, I must admit. But anyway, basically Clyden throws her out of their quarters, and him and Bortas have a bit of a row, and blah blah blah. So anyway, what Commander Grayson does, she gives like clues about for Topa to follow, and Topa follows these clues and finds out that he were born female. And here we go. And it basically decides that he wants to be female. He feels inside he is a female, and that's how he wants to be. So we go on. This is Bortas confiding in with Commander Grayson, and he ends up crying, and he doesn't know what to do. There we go. Clyden and Commander Grayson have a bit of a set to, and it gets physical, but Commander Grayson sorts it out. That's the scene, I think, where he's crying. She nearly is as well, look. And I nearly were. So basically it goes on, and he says Topa wants the surgery to become female again. There we go, because Commander Grayson shows the recording of the trial where it was decided that Topa would be forced as a baby to have surgery to become male. And we see there's a female Moclan. See if I can get a front view. There's a female Moclan who was quite famous, but nobody knew she was female. She hid her true nature and lived in seclusion. And she was proud to be female. She wouldn't change anything. So that's when Topa decides he wants to be female, and it causes a massive rift. They end up contacting Union headquarters and Union admirals. Here we go. Tells them not to do it, because if they do, the Moclans will leave the Union. They need the Moclans in the fight against the Kalon. It's not just a case of the wishes of one person. This is a thing that could affect the whole galaxy. So anyway, Ed decides. Dr. Finn. She says she's prepared to resign her commission, so she won't become a member of the Starfleet. I know it's not that. What they call it now? Well, whatever. The service. She won't be in the service anymore. So she could perform the surgery, but Ed's not sure about that. But then Isaac says he's not a member of Starfleet. I know it's not that, but he's not a Union citizen either. So he could perform the surgery because he's got all the programming necessary to do it. So they've something to think about. So they decide they're going to create a diversion with Bortas doing a singing recital. So everybody will be in the cargo bay. And while that's going on, Isaac will perform the surgery on Topa. And there they are. And but before it can get going, Clyden bursts in and has an encounter with Isaac, who easily overpowers him and sends him running. And I thought here that Topa had changed his mind because he'd seen his one of his fathers ridiculed, and I thought he'd change his mind, but he doesn't. So strips off, lies down on the bio bed, and Isaac gets going. That's Bortas singing. Anyway, the surgery is successful. Topa is now a female. The survey ship arrives, the science vessel arrives. It's got this admiral on board. She's not best pleased because word's got out what's happened, and she plays bloody hell with Grayson and Captain Ed Mercer. And even though they haven't broken any rules, they've bent them seriously. And she says, if they ever do anything like this again, they'll be demoted to ensign before they can think. So then she says, give my regards to the girl. And here we go, we see Topa is now a girl. She looks more feminine, more feminine features, less masculine. Clyden's leaving, and he doesn't soften at all, and he tells her he wished she'd never been born, and walks out. So now is Clyden. So obviously Clyden's left. Bortas tells Topa that she's perfect, so she's obviously stayed with Bortas. But it's Clyden now. Does he leave on the other science vessel? Is he gone now, or is he still on the Orville but living in different quarters? Is Clyden a member of the crew, or is he just a family member? Does he have a job on the Orville? I don't know. Well, I suppose we'll find out at some point. this is Claire and Isaac. They seem to get back together. He agrees to go to dinner with her, so she obviously still has feelings for Isaac. So it looks like they're becoming an item again. And I think the last thing now, we see Topa eating some of this cake, which was a clue earlier on. In her quest, and it's her now, isn't it? Her quest to become female again. And she gets invited to the bridge to, take him out of orbit. And she says, prepare to go to quantum. And the Orville leaves orbit and goes. See, I've gone too far. Oh, whatever. There we go. The Orville quantum's out of orbit, and that's the end of the episode. Now, a very powerful episode, and I did get a bit lip quivery with Bortus and all that. A very good performance there. But I did think it were a bit, although it wasn't exactly, it was kind of a happy ending. She got what she wanted. She was female in the end. But I thought it was going to be a bit bittersweet. I know Clyden left, but it was acting like a knobhead anyway with Clyden. But I thought, to be honest, I thought she'd change her mind, or she'd agree, or she'd do it in secret. Still look masculine, but be a female and do it in secret, like the other woman we saw, the other Mocklum female. But no, they didn't do that. So out and proud and all that, I suppose. I know she's not gay and that, but that's it. We're done with. Topa is now female. As she was born. So that it's not a case of being transgender. Well, she was born female and then turned male, because of societal issues, societal norms in the Mocklin civilization. But now she's back how she was born. So there you go. So yeah, it was a good episode. I'd give that one a 7 out of 10. It was, quite, not exactly action-packed, although we did have that holodeck battle with the Kalon. We seem to have battles with the Kalon quite regularly, don't we? In this, sometimes real, sometimes not. But yeah, it were okay. Again, I think Star Trek, not Discovery, Strange New Worlds, edged it out this week again over the Orville. But this was more of a Star Trek episode, I must admit, than Star Trek was. It had issues to think about, and it was very well done. But as I said, I thought it'd end a bit more ambiguously, but it didn't. So, will we see Clyden again? I don't know. I'm sure if he's still around on the Orville, we'll probably bump into him. But anyway, we'll leave it there. So another one bites the dust. So until next time, wherever you are in the galaxy, look after each other, and I'll see thee.